The element of art that we are focusing on for this project is line. Line is the most basic visual element. What happens when we repeat a line, a shape, or a color over and over again? We create something called a pattern. If you take a look on the left hand side of your screen, you'll see that line is a path made by a moving point through space. It is one dimensional and it can vary in width, direction, and length. You can have lines such as curly lines, straight lines, wavy lines, diagonal lines, etc. When we repeat a line, a shape, or a color over and over again, we create a pattern. As you can see on the right hand side, we have a ton of different patterns that are created by repeating the object or the shape or the line over it and over again. The principle of design we're going to be focusing on for this project is emphasis. Emphasis is defined as an area or an object within the artwork that draws the attention of the viewer first and becomes the focal point of the artwork. So we are creating emphasis by adding a center point or a focal point. If you take a look at your screen, you can see that the artists in these two pictures have not created the focal point in the middle. It's important to think about creating a focal point off to the side, off to the top or the bottom of the paper in order to add a little bit more interest. Here are some artists that use emphasis. You can see that they're using either an object or a dark hole in order to make sure that you look there first and then the rest of the artwork. If you take a look at your screen here, you'll see that there are two separate pattern drawings. The one on the left does not have a focal point. That means there's no center of interest where I'm looking first. The one on the right does, in fact, have a focal point. It is right smack in the middle of the drawing. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a three-dimensional Zentangle drawing that has a point of emphasis. We're going to be going over the steps in this project and in this video. Remember, if you're watching this video, you can always rewind, fast forward, or pause in order to make sure that you're staying on track. The first step of this project is you are going to research. So start with some inspirational research. Search for images of Zentangles as a start on your computer or on your phone. You can note and copy any patterns that you like and start to think about them if you can incorporate them into your future design. Step 2, we are going to create our emphasis shape and our continuous line. You will grab a piece of paper, okay, and you can hold your paper either horizontal or vertically. On your paper, you're going to trace or draw a circle, a square, an oval, or a rectangle, even a triangle, any basic shape, in order to draw your emphasis area. Make sure you draw it with a Sharpie. Do not put it in the middle of the paper. That will be pretty boring. Put it off to the side. Remember, after that, you are then going to take a continuous, overlapping, loopy, wiggly, straight, zigzag line that bends back and forth to where it started. All right. So as you can see in the two pictures here, I have the picture of the circle I created, and then I created this really loopy, continuous line that overlaps and kind of swirls through other parts of the line. After you do that, you're going to then start your patterns. Start with your emphasis area. That is the shape that you first drew. Use colored Sharpies or markers to draw patterns and Zentangles. Now remember, create a new pattern in each shape of that shape that you drew. In all the other areas, only use black Sharpies to draw different patterns or Zentangles. Create a new pattern in each of your shapes, your organic shapes in the background. Create your patterns or gain inspiration from patterns on Google or even on Google Classroom. After that, you're going to cut out your design. Cut out the extra white areas from the design. Make sure that you are careful and the design stays in one piece. Choose a few extra areas on the design to cut along the lines in order to help it become 3D. Step 5, what you are going to do is you're going to choose a colored sheet of paper. It can be any size and it can be any color. You are then going to form your original Zentangle drawing so that it raises from the paper base in an interesting way. Only glue down a few specific spots that will give your sculpture the 3D look that you want. You can use Elmer's glue or hot glue here. After you do that, you are going to add more patterns to the background. So first draw an extra bold outline with a Sharpie around the sculpture, leaving a slight border around it as you can see in my example. Then start adding more patterns onto the background paper. After you're done, submit a picture into Google Classroom and make sure you fill out the rubric.